Salam Doston, welcome to Salman Workshop. Today, we will explore the reasons behind why pork and alcohol are forbidden in Islam. Let's begin with pork. Why is the eating of pork forbidden in Islam? The fact that consumption of pork is prohibited in Islam is well known. The following points explain various aspects of this prohibition. First, pork is prohibited in the Qur'an. The Qur'an prohibits the consumption of pork in no less than 4 different places. It is prohibited in Surah Al-Baqarah chapter 2, verse 173, Surah Al-Ma'idah chapter 5, verse 3, Surah Al-An'am chapter 6, verse 145, and Surah Al-Nahl chapter 16, verse 115. Forbidden to you for food are dead meat, blood, the flesh of swine, and that on which hath been invoked the name of other than Allah. Al-Quran 5-3. The above verses of the glorious Quran are sufficient to satisfy a Muslim as to why pork is forbidden. Second, pork is prohibited in the Bible. The Christian is likely to be convinced by his religious scriptures. The Bible prohibits the consumption of pork in the book of Leviticus. And the swine, though he divide the hoof and be cloven-footed, yet he cheweth not the cud. He is unclean to you. Of their flesh shall ye not eat, and their carcass shall ye not touch. They are unclean to you. Leviticus 11-7-8. Pork is also prohibited in the Bible in the book of Deuteronomy. And the swine, because it divideth the hoof, yet cheweth not the cud, it is unclean unto you. Ye shall not eat of their flesh, nor touch their dead carcass. Deuteronomy 14-8. A similar prohibition is repeated in the Bible in the book of Isaiah chapter 65 verses 2-5. Third, the consumption of pork causes several diseases. The other non-Muslims and atheists will agree only if convinced through reason, logic, and science. Eating of pork can cause no less than 70 different types of diseases. A person can have various helminths like roundworm, pinworm, hookworm, etc. One of the most dangerous is Taenia solium, which is in layman's terminology called tapeworm. It harbors in the intestine and is very long. Its ova, that is eggs, enter the bloodstream and can reach almost all the organs of the body. If it enters the brain, it can cause memory loss. If it enters the heart, it can cause heart attack. If it enters the eye, it can cause blindness. If it enters the liver, it can cause liver damage. It can damage almost all the organs of the body. Another dangerous helminth is Trichura tituracis. A common misconception about pork is that if it is cooked well, these ova die. In a research project undertaken in America, it was found that out of 24 people suffering from Trichura tituracis, 22 had cooked the pork very well. This indicates that the ova present in the pork do not die under normal cooking temperature. Pork has very little muscle-building material and contains an excess of fat. This fat gets deposited in the vessels and can cause hypertension and heart attack. The pig is one of the filthiest animals on earth. It lives and thrives on muck, feces, and dirt. It is the best scavenger that I know that God has produced. In the villages, they don't have modern toilets, and the villagers excrete in the open air. Very often, excreta is cleared by the pigs. Some may argue that in advanced countries like Australia, pigs are bred in very clean and hygienic conditions. Even in these hygienic conditions, the pigs are kept together in sties. No matter how hard you try to keep them clean, they are filthy by nature. They eat and enjoy their own, as well as their neighbors' excreta. Some may argue that even the chickens eat the excreta. The chicken does many a time peck the excreta and dirt, but does not survive on it. The chicken has a second stomach, that is, the gizzard. Whenever the chicken consumes feces and other dirt, it enters the gizzard and is directly excreted. On the other hand, the pig has only one stomach, and everything passes through the normal digestive system. Therefore, the pork also contains this dirt, which is indirectly consumed while eating pork. The pig is the most shameless animal on the face of the earth. It is the only animal that invites its friends to have sex with its mate. In America, most people consume pork. Many times after dance parties, they have swapping of wives, meaning, many say you sleep with my wife and I will sleep with your wife. If you eat pigs, then you behave like pigs. We Indians look upon America to be very advanced and sophisticated. Whatever they do, we follow after a few years. According to an article in Island magazine, this practice of swapping wives has become common in the affluent circles of Mumbai. Why is the consumption of alcohol prohibited in Islam? The glorious Qur'an prohibits the consumption of alcohol in the following verse. O ye who believe! Intoxicants and gambling, dedication of stones, and divination by arrows are an abomination of Satan's handiwork. Eschew such abomination that ye may prosper. Al-Qur'an, chapter 5, verse 90. Prohibition of alcohol in the Bible. The Bible prohibits the consumption of alcohol in the following verses. Wine is a mocker, strong drink is raging, and whosoever is deceived thereby is not wise. And be not drunk with wine. Book of Ephesians, chapter 5, verse 18. Alcohol inhibits the inhibitory center. The human beings possess an inhibitory center in their brains. This inhibitory center prevents the person from doing things that he considers wrong. For instance, a person does not normally use abusive language while addressing his parents or elders. If he has to answer the call of nature, his inhibitory center will prevent him from doing so in public. Therefore, he uses the toilet. When a person consumes alcohol, the inhibitory center itself is inhibited. That is precisely the reason that an intoxicated person is found to use abusive and foul language and does not realize his mistake, even if he is addressing his parents. Neither do they talk nor walk properly. They misbehave, and many even urinate in their clothes. Cases of adultery, rape, incest, and AIDS are found more among alcoholics. According to the National Crime Victimization Survey Bureau of Justice, U.S. Department of Justice, in the year 2014 alone, every day on average, 2,318 rapes took place. The statistics tell us that the majority of the rapists were intoxicated while committing the crime. The same is true in cases of molestation. According to statistics, 8% of Americans commit incest. That is, 1 in every 12 to 13 persons in America is involved in incest. Almost all the cases of incest are due to intoxication of one or both the persons involved. The Prophet, peace be upon him, said, "Alcohol is the mother of all evils, the greatest of major sins. Whoever drinks it may end up committing incest with his mother, his maternal aunt, and his paternal aunt." One of the major factors associated with the spread of AIDS, the most dreaded disease, is alcoholism. Every alcoholic was initially a social drinker. Many may argue in favor of alcohol by calling themselves social drinkers. They claim that they only have 1 or 2 pegs, and they have self-control and never get intoxicated. Investigations reveal that every alcoholic starts as a social drinker. Not a single alcoholic or drunkard initially starts drinking with the intention of becoming an alcoholic or a drunkard. No social drinker can say that I have been having alcohol for several years and that I have so much self-control that I have never been intoxicated even a single time. Suppose a social drinker loses his self-control just once and in a state of intoxication he commits rape or incest. Then any good and modest human being will never forgive himself throughout his life. The damage caused both to the rapist and the victim is irreparable and irreversible. Alcohol is prohibited in the Hadith. The Prophet of Islam, Muhammad, peace be upon him, said, in Sunan ibn Ma'ajah, Volume 4, Book of Intoxicants, Chapter 1, number 3371, do not drink wine, for it is the key to all evils. In Sunan ibn Majah, Volume 4, Book of Intoxicants, Chapter 1, number 3392, anything which intoxicates in a large quantity is prohibited even in a small quantity. Thus, there is no excuse for a nip or a tot. Not only those who drink alcohol are cursed, but also those who deal with it directly or indirectly are cursed by Allah. According to Sunan ibn Majah, Volume 4, Book of Intoxicants, Chapter 6, Hadith, number 3381. It was reported by Anas, may Allah be pleased with him, that Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, said, God's curse falls on 10 groups of people who deal with alcohol. The one who distills it, the one for whom it has been distilled, the one who drinks it, the one who transports it, the one to whom it has been brought, the one who serves it, the one who sells it, the one who utilizes money from it, the one who buys it, and the one who buys it for someone else. Diseases associated with alcoholism. There are several scientific reasons for the prohibition of consumption of intoxicants, i.e., alcohol. The maximum number of deaths in the world related to any one particular cause is due to the consumption of alcohol. Millions of people die every year only because of intake of alcohol. I need not go into the details of all the ill effects of alcohol, since most of them are commonly known. Below is a simple list of a few of the alcohol-related illnesses. Cirrhosis of liver is the most well-known alcohol-associated disease. Others are cancer of esophagus, cancer of head and neck, cancer of liver, hepatoma, cancer of bowel, etc. Esophagitis, gastritis, pancreatitis, and hepatitis are linked with alcohol consumption. Cardiomyopathy, hypertension, coronary atherosclerosis, angina, and heart attacks are linked with heavy alcohol intakes. Strokes, apoplexy, fits, and different types of paralysis are linked with alcohol intake. Peripheral neuropathy, cortical atrophy, and cerebellar atrophy are well-known syndromes caused by alcohol consumption. Wernicke-Korsakoff syndrome, with amnesia of recent events, confabulations, and retainment of memory to old events with different types of paralysis, are mainly due to thiamine deficiency due to excessive alcohol intake. Beriberi and other deficiencies are not uncommon among alcoholics. Even pellagra occurs in alcoholics. Delirium tremens is a serious complication that may occur during recurrent infection of alcoholics or post-operatively. It also occurs during abstention as a sign of withdrawal effect. It is quite serious and may cause death even if treated in well-equipped centers. Numerous endocrine disorders have been associated with alcoholism, ranging from myxoedema to hyperthyroidism and florid Cushing's syndrome. Hematological ill effects are long and variable. Folic acid deficiency, however, is the most common manifestation of alcoholic abuse, resulting in macrocytic anemia. Zeeves syndrome is a triad of hemolytic anemia, jaundice, and hyperlipidemia that follows alcoholic binges. Thrombocytopenia and other platelet abnormalities are not rare in alcoholics. The commonly used tablet, metronidazole, Flagyl, interacts badly with alcohol. Recurrent infection is very common among chronic alcoholics. The resistance to disease and the immunological defense system are compromised by alcohol intake. Chest infections are notorious in alcoholics. Pneumonia, lung abscess, emphysema, and pulmonary tuberculosis are all common in alcoholics. During acute alcoholic intoxication, the drunken person usually vomits. The cough reflexes, which are protective, are paralyzed. The vomitus thus easily passes to the lung, causing pneumonia or lung abscess. Occasionally, it may even cause suffocation and death. The ill effects of alcohol consumption on women deserve special mention. Females are more vulnerable to alcohol-related cirrhosis than men. During pregnancy, alcohol consumption has a severe detrimental effect on the fetus. Fetal alcohol syndrome is being recognized more and more in the medical profession. Skin diseases are also related to alcohol indulgence. Eczema, alopecia, nail dystrophy, paronychia, infection around the nails, and angular stomatitis, inflammation of the angle of the mouth, are common diseases among alcoholics. Alcoholism is a disease. Medical doctors have now turned sympathetic towards alcoholics and call alcoholism a disease rather than an addiction. The Islamic Research Foundation has published a pamphlet that says, "If alcohol is a disease, it is the only disease that is sold in bottles, is advertised in newspapers, magazines, on the internet, radio and television, has licensed outlets to spread it, produces revenue for the government, brings violent deaths on the highways, destroys family life and increases crime, has no germs or viral cause. Alcoholism is not a disease. It is Satan's handiwork. Hope you liked the video. Thanks for watching and keep watching. Salam.